So one of the things that I wanted to talk for a few minutes about is spiritual awakening. Now, there's a lot of different things that can be said about this. In my private Facebook group for empaths, I go into a whole thing about ascension symptoms, what a spiritual awakening can entail. So, real briefly, just to kind of touch on it, because there's a specific point that I wanted to make about spiritual awakenings themselves. But a spiritual awakening it's a process. You can have more than one awakening, but it's a period of time where you realize that what you're going through in your life is at a point where it's kind of making you look more introspectively, and it makes you question your path. It makes you question the things that you've been taught. It's a period of time where you're questioning your direction in life, what you believe about yourself and the world, and what direction the world is headed in. So it's a period of time where you basically are questioning everything. And for many people, it can feel very unnerving, frightening, scary, lonely. And for myself, I've had more than one, I would say, dark night of the soul, okay, if you want to call it that. But the spiritual awakening is a process, okay? So it's not like a one and done type deal where it's like it's a 24-hour period and then that's it. But it's something that it's a time that can be very tough for many people. And this is something that I discuss with my clients a lot, because a lot of them come to me while they're in the middle of their awakening. And the point that I really wanted to make in this particular video is, and because this is something that I've had to say recently to someone, is that it's not supposed to meet any particular expectation, because the thing that was said to me was that my spiritual awakening wasn't what I thought it was going to be. She was very aware that that's what she is currently going through, and she was actually kind of excited about it, but she was like, it made her doubt a number of things. It made her doubt the new beliefs that she was exploring. It made her doubt her own intuitive abilities and gifts, and it was scary. And so, or it has been scary. And I reassured this person that the very first thing to remember is that it's not going to look anything like what you thought. Most people don't even realize that that's what it is that they're going through. She did, but in general, most people don't realize that is what is happening at the time. They just think everything is kind of turned on its head. And so if you have an idea that is what you're currently going through, I want you to just reassure yourself that whatever it is that you're experiencing and feeling right now is exactly what you should be experiencing and feeling. Because that uncomfortability is what is going to make you more introspective, and to make sure that you don't stay at the status quo that has brought you to this place to begin with. Because if you're not taken out of your comfort zone enough, you're just going to continue to do what you have been doing, which hasn't been working for you. That's the whole point of going through the awakening process and experiencing that dark night of the soul. So remember that. Number one, remember that it's not going to look like anything like you think it's going to. So don't try and take control of the experience. The only thing that you can manage or have some sort of semblance of control over is the action steps that you take to get through it and to navigate it. Now, the second thing that I want to say is that I get this question too. Do I need to seek help? That really depends. the first thing that I'm going to say is it's probably a good idea to. So for one, if you have a specific condition, if you need to be seeking care from a medical professional, you think that you need to, then definitely go do that. Majority of my clients who come to me, especially in the beginning, are often seeing clients, counselors, doctors, and me. You know, a lot of them take a very integrative or holistic approach, which is great. You know, when I was going through the beginning stages of mine, I saw a psychologist. I saw more than one. I'll do a different video on my experience later, but I did seek, professional help because I was clinically depressed and had anxiety. So, so if you need to see someone, then go do that. Now, do you need to seek out a spiritual teacher? I did, in the beginning, I didn't realize that that's what I was doing. I ended up seeing someone who, she was a spiritual teacher, psychic, medium, empath, intuitive, all of that. And I actually ended up learning a lot outside of the religion that I grew up in. And so it was actually really, really helpful. So if you're exploring that particular side to you, because of your awakening, because of the things that you're going through, it's not going to hurt anything. That doesn't mean you necessarily have to believe everything that you're fed. The great thing about a spiritual awakening that most people begin to appreciate as time goes on is that they get to pick and choose what resonates for them. Now, if you follow a lot of different accounts on social media that are more spiritual in nature, you'll notice that there's specific language that's used. A lot of people tend to believe very similar things, but it's not like it's not a cookie cutter type of deal. So I really make it a point to express to each and every one of my clients that I'm not here to tell people what to believe. If you ask me, I will usually preface what I say with try on and see how this feels for you. But this is a particular concept. See if it resonates with you. See if it feels like truth to you. Because your beliefs can change. Mine certainly did over time as well, and there's nothing wrong with that. Ultimately, what you end up finding is that the things that you end up believing in resonate at a heart level where if your heart's open, if you've managed to get your heart open, then truth becomes much more easier to identify for you. Truth doesn't necessarily always mean fact. It means it feels light within your body. It brings in information that helps to strengthen and radiate your spirit. So that's the next point then that I'm trying to make, is that if you do need to seek out guidance from a spiritual teacher or something like that, then go for it. There's a lot of really great people out there. I've had several teachers and mentors over time. I currently work with them myself. I myself am a teacher and mentor for other healers and things as well. So, feel free to reach out to me if you need to. But that is something that is really helpful along the way. It doesn't mean you have to stick with one person forever. You can just get the knowledge and know how to kind of navigate through what you're going through until you kind of figure out what your next steps are going to be. Oftentimes your healing period is going to help you to discover what you're here for, what your purpose is through the use of your own gifts. Yeah, and that's something that I really stress with my clients, because oftentimes I can, when they tell me the different things that they experience and different things that they notice about themselves, I begin to see, what kinds of things could be grown and expanded so that they can use those fully if they choose to. So there's a couple of thoughts I just wanted to share with you when it comes to a spiritual awakening that I think is really important for a lot of people to hear. comment below. If you have questions, feel free to reach out to me or put those in the comments below so I can answer those in another video. Okay? And I will talk to you later.